What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show, Finance Fridays. Every Friday, we talk about financial topics that can add value to your life. And today, we are going to comment on the story about UFC welterweight reigning world champion Kamaru Usman and how he spent, but I'll say lost, his first $1 million. Yikes. He recently did an interview with GQ magazine, and GQ does this, and I think it's really interesting topics where they speak to athletes, entertainers, and just individuals who are high income earnings. And Kamaru has made over $1 million. In fact, when we look, we can see that Kamaru Usman has made total career earnings of approximately $4.2 million. And I'll say that's likely a little bit higher. There's a little bit more that goes into this. So we'll say $5 million as a baseline, but Kamaru Usman may have earned anywhere between $6 to $8 million total when we add up pay-per-view points, side letters, and a few other incentives that sometimes are not added. Sorry about that. There we go. I was looking at this for you. I'll just show you here. This is from the Sports Daily. Kamaru Usman's career earnings as of November of 2021. And his last fight was November of 21. And that was June of 21. So we actually need to add one more fight versus Colby Covington. And he made 642 in this one. Likely another 650, we'll call it. So that 4.2 goes up to about 5 mil, as I said. But truly, somewhere between $6 to $8 million most likely is about what Kamaru Usman has earned thus far in his UFC career. Now, that is a good chunk of change, right? Nobody is mad or Kamaru hopefully is not, crying that he's broke. And I'm not saying that he's broke, but I wanted to use this opportunity to show you how he spent his money, in my opinion, how he could have spent his money better, and how he has likely lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in real money, but the opportunity cost of the money he spent frivolously has likely cost him millions of dollars, possibly tens of millions of dollars, as he goes over the course of his earning and investing career. So let's take this just a little bit deeper. Now, MMA Junkie, and respect to them, they posted this. I watched the entire video, so you don't have to. You can certainly go to MMA Junkie's website and watch the video also where Kamaru breaks it down. But they do have a really good breakdown right here that I will make larger for you of what Kamaru spent his money on. Now, out of the gate, he makes his first $1 million. He's blown away. He gets this big check, this wire transfer into his account. And what is the first thing he spends his money on? Well, his daughter's birthday party and a Nissan Maxima. He said that was 30 grand. He then moves on and he buys a $20,000 Rolex watch because he says, he's the champ now and he needs to be blinging. He says he spends $200,000 on coaches and trainers and likely management, which most managers, MMA managers, charge between 10 to 20%. He's probably paying his manager somewhere closer to 15. And I would assume he then breaks off the other 5% and spreads that to his coaches and trainers. I believe that's all wrapped in. He then says he spent $30,000 on his daughter's school, but in the video, he said her school costs about $10,000 to $15,000 per year. It is private school, and that's about $1,000 per month. That's actually not a bad deal. House. He said he spent $500,000 on a house. Talk about that in a moment. He had a failed investment in which he was sat down with a pretty girl who talked sweet to him and, and suggested that he invest into a few things. He gave her the money. The money disappeared, never to be seen again. Boom, blown investment. Yikes. He then made a smarter investment, he said, with a $30,000 investment. He said that paid off well. But then he went and bought an $80,000 Range Rover Velar, which is a depreciating asset. And the last thing he said is he went into real estate investing with his brother for 50 grand, but also part of that 50 grand, he actually paid for part of his brother's wedding. So his brother was getting married. Kamaru's got new money in his pocket. Bam, throws some of that money at his brother's wedding. And he said his brother's a doctor. I don't know what field his brother worked in. I didn't have the time to do that research. But Kamaru throws some cash at his brother, then throws some other cash into a real estate deal. So let's throw this to the side and have a little quick chat on this. Well, out of the gate, you're like, well, Dolce, it's not so bad. He's putting his daughter to school. He bought a house. He needed a car. Well, he bought 2 cars, a Maxima and a Range Rover, right? So he spent $110,000 on vehicles, which are depreciating assets, which means as soon as you purchase them, you drive them off the lot, they depreciate anywhere between 20 to 40% in that first year. So that $80,000 brand new Range Rover he drove off the lot is then worth $64,000 before he put a single mile on it. That is a depreciating asset. That is not a good look, unfortunately. And that doesn't include the insurance to insure the Range Rover. It doesn't include the gas, now, I have a Land Rover. It is expensive. They are expensive, but I purchased my Land Rover when I was already a millionaire, and I purchased it for cash, and I purchased it 2 years used. Just to give an example of what the difference is in this. I didn't buy it brand new. It already had depreciated, and I was able to steal it at that time. And I still drive that to this day, by the way. To this day, it was 2 years old, and I purchased it in 2012. So it's, how old is it? It's an 11-year-old Land Rover, and it is still pristine to this day, by the way, but it's expensive. Every time it goes into the shop, it's $1,000 or more, that's why I drive it, so sweet. But anyway, I digress on that topic. Let's go back to more of the points here. So Rolex watch, you could argue that appreciates in value. Maybe not. Okay, coaches and trainers, I get that. Much respect to Kamaru for breaking that cheese off for his coaches. The $30K for the daughter, I understand. My children were in private school also until we pulled them for homeschool. The $500,000 house investment, I'm not mad at that. I'm a real estate investor myself. The failed investment, yikes. Ooh, stupid tax right there. And we've all paid it. I've never paid stupid tax to that level in my life. And then investments with his brother. Don't commingle your cash with family ever, because if the deal with his brother goes sour for some reason, nobody's fault, that will cause problems at Thanksgiving dinner. But now I want to talk about something because Kamaru made $1 million. And when you add this up, well, he spent $500,000, $700,000, $750,000, $810,000, $890,000, 920 and another 50, 970. So he right here, just in this little bit, and I might have missed something as I'm running through the quick math, he made $1 million. He spent $1 million. $1 million, right? He spent $1 million. He made $1 million. Yikes. Why is that a problem? Because bam. Now, he lives in Florida, so we can wipe out the tax rates partially. Now, this depends on how he's structured. Is he a sole proprietor? Is he an S corporation? Is he an LLC? Is he just a independent filing? Single, taxpayer? Who knows? But let's assume. And this is the federal tax rates as of 2019, which is when I believe he made his first $1 million, somewhere around 18, 19, after he fought Dos Anjos, won the world title. Then he goes on and fight, and then had the spot to fight Woodley for the world title, goes out there and beats Woodley for the world title. So the thought is between 18 and 19 is when he made his first $1 million. I'm going to say 2019. In 2019, the federal tax rate of income earners making $510,000 or more filing as head of household was 37%. So, of the $1 million that Kamaru Usman made, he might have had to pay $370,000 right off the top to the IRS. Right. So that from the $1 million he made, now he's only left with $630,000. This math does not add up right out of the gate. Do you see that? It does not add up right out of the gate. Now, let's say he has an amazing tax team. I don't know if he does. Let's say he's structured possibly as an S corporation, which is a flow-through company. He and his wife are now sat there as W-2 employees of their S corporation. Maybe now they can start writing certain things off against the income coming in, but they still have to pay taxes, probably closer to 20%. Best case scenario, maybe 20%. Awesome. He's got Elon Musk and Donald Trump's tax team, let's say. So now he's paying 20% on the million. That's only $800,000. He's overspent out of the gate by $200,000, which now he would likely owe to the IRS if this math is correct. If all this is correct, and he's on camera discussing it and talking about it and very happily smiling as he should, man's getting paid. Talking about it, see, get that cheese, and talking about how he's blinging out, and he's got to drive the Range Rover and got to have the Rolex, and he gets the nice house and, all that stuff. And this is where people get into trouble. They get into trouble because they see what they make, and they do not understand how that money must be diversified. Right? So the first thing you do when you make money, no matter where you are, and this is the takeaway for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please leave them in the chats. We're going to talk about that. All the money you make. Now, let's say you're a W-2 employee where your taxes are likely getting taken out. And I am not a certified public accountant. I am not a certified financial planner. This is not financial advice. This is just edutainment. I'm just one dude talking and making commentary. That's all this is. So take it for what it is. Now, the money coming through to you, and I own multiple businesses. I'm a real estate investor. I've quite a bit going on. And I have my own tax team, and I have my own, wealth management, counselors, consultants, right, in my life. And I have for many years. So I have a lot of good IP on this to share with you guys. And I help coach small business owners and personal trainers and those in the fitness industry primarily to build cash flow positive businesses, how to protect yourself, how to create financial independence. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you right now. So let's say you get a check for $1 million. The first thing you do is you want to take a minimum of 25% of that, and you want to stuff that into the IRS, pay the IRS account right out of the gate. Personally, I want to take 30% and stuff that in because you never know what's going to happen, and you always want to have more money than less money. Hedge on the side of being conservative and being safe. Now, you make the $1 million, you take 30%, that's 300 grand, and bam, you put that into an appreciating, high-yielding, interest-bearing account so you can make money on the IRS's money until the IRS needs their money. Maybe you get paid in January of 2022, but you don't have to pay the IRS until April of 2023. Well, I would love to put that 300 grand into an appreciating money market account, or possibly a USDC account, US dollar coin, which is paying anywhere between 8 to 10% interest, let's say 9% interest. Woo, baby. I can make an extra $27K on the $300K that sat there, pay the IRS the $300K, and still be sat on the $27K or more. Right? Because, it's probably over, 33,000 because it's not 12 months. It now is going into April, first quarter of the next year. Right? So you're teaching your money how to make money. You're preserving your money so you do not have issues with the government. Most people run into these issues with the government. Always pay the government. Always pay the government first and foremost. The next thing you do is you pay yourself first. You pay yourself first. A minimum of 10% goes directly into your personal future investment account. I don't care what that is. I don't care how you detail it, how you call it, but you made $1 million, right? 300,000 of that goes directly into the IRS fund. Boom, that disappears. That's gone forever. 10% of the $1 million now goes into the future you account. That's 100 grand right there. Bang. That goes in possibly into an S&P 500 index fund, where that will sit there and grow for 3 years or 5 years, because you want to then break that off and buy an investment property or buy your homestead. Possibly you want to put that in also an appreciating investment strategy that is well known to you, unlike the one Kamaru had used, where he said he dropped $60,000 on some sweet talking pretty girl who talked him out of the money into an investment that he never never saw a yield on. And Kamaru, if you watch this, buddy, you should read The Richest Man in Babylon. Everyone here, The Richest Man in Babylon, by the way. I've spoken about it many times, where it teaches you, number one, is to invest, the first 10% you make is yours to keep, but only invest that money in things that you know or with people who have a proven track record in the exact area that you are investing in, and that is it. Make sure they are vetted, make sure they are proven, make sure their reputation is stellar before you part way with your hard-earned shekels or whatever they called it in The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, the next thing, so you have the IRS paid. Now you have your future that is starting to be invested. So 10% of all you make is yours to keep and should be directly invested into your future. And some people will say, well, Dolce, I can barely make ends meet today. Say, well, you're living frivolously, because you can easily live on 90% of what you take home as you can on 100% of what you take home. But if you simply take that 10%, that small little 10%, put that aside, slowly but surely your wealth will grow. And next year you will have more breathing room. The year after that, due to compounding interest, more breathing room and more breathing room. And in a short period of time, you will be wealthy and financially independent. And as you continue forward, that 10% that you've been investing into your own future savings account, future you account, will then start earning more money through compounding interest than you are actually earning at your job right now. Poof. Right? That's the way it works. That's how rich people stay rich. That's how banks work. That's why you take your money, you bring it to the bank, you put your money into a little bank account. They pay you 0.25% interest if you're lucky. And then they loan it out to someone else who pays them 2.25% compounding interest. That's why the banks have the biggest buildings in every major city. They are flaunting compounding interest in your face. I'm trying to show you how to make compounding interest work for you and also consider appreciating assets. He talks about his daughter's school. Hey, that's great. He talks about a $500,000 house. That's great. Did you pay it for cash? Hopefully, because that is an appreciating asset that you can then flip, especially in this market. If you bought it in 2019, he could sell it in 2022, and he's probably up 130 to 150%, depending on the market he's in. Lord knows. What did we buy? We purchased a beach property in 2018, and it is up 150% on what we spent just less than 4 years ago. Now here's the Range Rover Velar. And this is an interesting story. Now take it for what you will. This is just one guy talking. But I was working with a very well-known athlete who was decently paid, low six figures per year paid, was making more money than me at that time. And this athlete went out and bought a brand new Range Rover. Bought a brand new Range Rover. That Range Rover cost him $1,200 per month. $1,200 per month. That same year, I bought a Land Rover. I mean, same, pretty much same. I like the Land Rover. I still to this day like the Land Rover, and now it's the Discovery. I like the Land Rover better than the Range Rover personally. Sweet car, by the way. My Land Rover cost me, I don't say the number, that doesn't matter. Pennies on the dollar compared to what he purchased. My Land Rover, I still drive to this day. And I bought it for cash when I bought it. And I bought it 2 years old, right? So I already took that hit of depreciation. It had very low miles. It was well maintained. I was friends with the GM at the facility. So I got a good deal. And I sat there all day, 8 hours negotiating and beat them up as best as I could. And I bought the Land Rover and I bought a Tahoe for my wife at the same time, right? This is what we did, when we kind of first made it, let's say, but we saved for it. And I spent 6 months researching these exact vehicles, and I found them and I tracked them down. So Brandy gets a white Tahoe with beautiful tan interior and all the bells and whistles. And I pull out with a beautiful silver Land Rover. Those two vehicles were awesome, and we drove them for years and years. And then we upgraded Brandy's Tahoe to a Suburban once we had our second daughter, right? So we stayed in that family for quite a long time. She drove that from 2012 to 2017, so 5 years in that. And that was 2 years old also. And I continue, and I drive the Land Rover still to this day. But to Kamaru's Range Rover, which is a beautiful vehicle, but $80,000 doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Not on your first million, not on your first million. And here's why. Now, Kamaru, who's got a net worth of $5, $6, $7, $8 million or so, boom, $80,000, $100 grand on a brand new car, whatever you want. Buddy, break that chunk off, no worries. But your first $1 million doesn't make sense. That is a massive percentage of his total net worth when we consider the taxable the taxes that he would likely have to owe. And that's really the point of this. So let me get off, because I could just, nitpick and go through, and I'm sure people could nitpick, probably be really hard. I could maybe have an accountant nitpick, comb through my life. But it'd be really hard because, man, I'm so tax compliant. I don't do anything without first running it through my advisors and making sure that I'm doing everything I should be doing, because I'm very, fiscally conservative. So what do you guys think about this? The whole point of this video is, man, and now I don't want to say, I don't want to, keep pointing at Kamaru here, but he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Paying for his brother's wedding. His brother's a doctor. Why are you paying for a grown-ass man's wedding? That doesn't make sense to me. That is an enabling behavior, although I've done that with my own family before, and I've done that with other people. I've been overly generous, trying to help people, but that was more in living situations, not for parties, right? Letting people live in some of our investment properties so they can get back up on their feet. Then they wound up wrecking the properties, keeping the lights, the air conditioning on, never shutting them off effectively, right? And by comparison, the utility bills were double and triple what our regular hardworking paying tenants were. That was family that did that to us. So lesson learned. I can't get mad at him about that. But I've never invested a single penny with family, because that is only I've never invested a single penny with any other friend or partner. My only investments are independent investments. Why my wife and I, through LLCs, let's say with our real estate investments, or through deferred compensation programs, or 529s for our daughter's education, or Roth 401ks through our company, or traditional, IRAs, different ways like that you can certainly invest. But never commingling funds with anyone that I want to sit down and have dinner with, because it's just not going to work out well. What do you guys think about this? Was this interesting? Please, let's ask the questions right now. Let's go to the chat right now, and let's have a question. I think this was fun. I'm slightly off topic. I went off topic a few times. I was going to run through the investment calculator of how much money Kamaru may have lost. And you know what? Let's do that briefly. You want to do that? Let's briefly do that, and let's just see how much Kamaru possibly lost. Let's do this. I think that'll be fun. Last little thing here. All right. Boom. Boom. Let's say the $60,000. And I think that's a fair one, because we all can get duped. So let's say, let's give him a 4. I think he's a little bit older. So let's say he's 35 years old. He wants to retire at 65 years old. Sure, that's fine. How much does he currently have? We'll simply just talk about the $60,000 he gave to the con lady. He'll put $0 against that. Rate of return anywhere between 10 to 11%. That's what the S&P 500 has returned over the last 30 years. So we'll put it in the middle. We'll say 11%. Bam. That $60,000 failed investment of Kamaru cost he and his family $1.6 million in compounding interest down the road. You can see $60,000 of his own money, if invested into an appreciating asset, will grow at an 11% rate of interest over 30 years into grow by $1.52 million for a total of $1.6 million. So by handing over, by not being a good custodian of his money, and that's the whole point of this video, my friends, by not being a good custodian of his money, Kamaru Usman lost $1.5 million. And that was just on this. Now, let's add the Range Rover to that. So 60, and that's what, 140 grand? Bam! If he didn't buy that Range Rover, if he didn't blow that cash on that lady, and he just simply put it into an S&P 500 index fund like a VOO or an SPY, very low expense ratio, very low turnover, mimics the market, the top 500 companies in the United States, which has grown over 30 years, 10 to 12%. Bam, that 140K that he could have broken off in 2019 when he's 65, which is younger than my mom and my aunts and my uncles who are still living great lives, well younger than Sylvester Stallone and shit. Brad Pitt and George Clooney are like knocking on the door of that. Just as a reference, that's an extra $3.7 million sat there. And now let's add maybe the extra 20 grand he gave to his brother. 160, that might be too many O's. Boom. That's 4.2. Heck, let's just say he took 200 grand out of all of that first mill. He gave the government their 300 grand. He took 200 grand. He invested that into his future. He still had $500,000 to spend on whatever he wanted. His family would have been set up with $5.3 million, and that's just on his first $1 million. Oh, sorry about that. That's real. That's real math right there. That is an investment calculator. That is exactly the way compounding interest works. And what's funny is here's what I do. When I'm going to buy a cup of coffee or something, I want to go buy something. It's like, how much that coffee, that cup of coffee, that's going to cost me $5. Well, fuck. $5 coffee today is going to be $44 when I'm 65. I'm not going to buy that. For every $1 I save today, well, that's worth $8 when I'm 65. Now, let's say you're 35 years old. Well, this is even better for you. For every dollar you save at 35, it's worth $24. So if you can take $1 today and not spend it, that will allow you to spend $24 when you're 65 years old. Now, maybe you can save $10 per day. Can you save $10 per day? If you can save $10 per day, you can then invest it. It will grow through compounding interest, and you will be able to spend $266 per day when you're 65 years old. Can you imagine if your mom or grandmom or aunt or uncle had done that? Poof. So that's just what I'm trying to share with you guys. Now let's answer. Paul P., Finance Friday. You know, Paul, what's up? You know it's Finance Friday when I'm wearing the collared shirt with that money green. The money green on the inside, baby. What's up, Lost? Good to see you. Bam, Brian Henley, all badged up, my man. I love it. Brian Henley got the subscription badge. He subscribed to the channel, clicked that little join button, and got badged up. Badged up army, looking good. Does a Living Lean cookbook come along with the 3 Weeks to Shredded program? No. Also, what program should I join if I don't have to make a specific weight for competition, but simply would like to lean out? Click the link below this video. Join the 12-week Living Lean and 3 Weeks to Shredded bundle. So the online program, you get both Living Lean and 3 Weeks to Shredded. But I think you said if you just buy the cookbook is just a cookbook, and then we have the other Living Lean or the 3 Weeks to Shredded book on the other side. But also, we have the coaches certification coming up in March. This is my actual teaching textbook right here. If you want to become a Dolce Diet certified nutrition coach, you definitely want to get on the pre-registration list. Leave a comment below this video, and I will tell you more information how to do that. What are some examples of appreciating assets? Real estate. Real estate is an appreciating asset. Over time, real estate will go up. It will always go up. And better than just appreciating assets, real estate appreciates and cash flows. Where's Grant Cardone, right? Grant, this is what cash flow, baby, cash flow, baby, cash flow, right? That's all Grant talks about is cash flow. And he's not wrong. He's not always right, but he's not wrong on this. Appreciating asset, your real estate goes up over time. Look at the house you live in, whether you own it or your landlord owns it. Look at the house and go on to Zillow. Look on Zillow and look at the chart of what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Starts here, currently right here, little bit of small market fluctuation, seasonally, quarterly. That's it. That's it. There's only been, I think, 1 or 2 major dips in the last 50 years, and they recover, bam, like rockets. So real estate appreciates and cash flows, which means if you own your own property, let's say you own it full with no payments, you know, you own your property, you don't have a mortgage on it. Guess what? Now you're cash flowing yourself, because instead of paying $1,000 or $2,000 a month to your mortgage company, now you pay that same $1,000 or $2,000 a month to your investment fund. And let me do that for you right now, if you guys want to. I think it's a good exercise to do. Let me drop this down. Cole, let me remove that so I can show you a little bit more on the screen. Now, think about this. Let's say you're a 35-year-old, you just got married, you just started a family, and you have $0 in the bank because you saved, and you bought your own $200,000, $300 house, $300,000 house, which would be approximately $1,800 or so, maybe $2,100, but let's say $1,800 per month. How about that? If you can get that $300,000 mortgage off the books, if you can get into a living situation that you do not have to make that monthly payment anymore on that piece of property, and between the ages of 35 and 65, that is the length of a 30-year mortgage, $0 you're starting with, and you simply make the mortgage payment to yourself of $1,800 a month. Most of you are paying around that per month. Right? $1,500 to $2,500 is the average rental rate in the United States, right? $1,500 to $2,500, depending on where you live. Bam. So let's say $1,800, which is the lower end. You have $5 million in retirement simply because you remove the burden of paying the bank. This is what happens. Remember what I said earlier? You pay the bank the $1,800. Then the bank 30 years later has $5 million in appreciating growth. How about that? Boom. Right? How about that? And why these numbers don't match up is because you're getting whacked on interest here also. So not all of this goes to the principal in the beginning. Very little of it actually goes to the principal. This is the way it works, my friends. This is why we say this is Finance Fridays. It's trying to kind of open your mind a little bit. Seth, what's up, Seth? Good to see you. Bam. Amir, all badged up, baby. Got that subscriber badge. Subscribe to the channel. Click that join button. Badged up. We got in February, got really cool guests coming on. The guests will be able to speak directly, or I should say, those members of the community that have subscribed and got those badges will be able to ask questions of our special guests. Everybody can watch and join and be a part of it, but only those with the badges will be able to ask questions of our guests. So that's one of the ways we really want to give you guys extra benefit. Amir says, hey, coach, I noticed some of the meals on 3 Weeks of Shredded online are not matching the instructions. Should we follow the recipe or the instructions? Amir, that might be some sort of glitch in the matrix. If you could, please just email that, click the contact link, email that to the team, and they'll make the update for you or tell you specifically what it should be. Apologize for that. Very, very rare that happens. Although we just did launch an update, so there might be a few bugs in there. So I would appreciate that, and our tech team will get in and fix it. Can he have residency in Monaco or something? It's possible, right? And that was just a armchair review, right? You know, just for fun. And I just wanted to use his situation to highlight the importance of taxation, to understand what your rate is, and to always pay. Always pay the IRS first and anticipate paying more than you think you will pay. Worst case scenario, you have that money. It tricks you into investing that money over a period of time that is growing conservatively and very safely, right? So you are yielding a return on this money, but you're protecting it. You're not giving it to some pretty girl who has, a mortgage scam, unfortunate like Kamaru did. Would you suggest I get my blood work done before scheduling a one-to-one consultation with you? Well, it'll help. The more information we have is helpful for sure, but it's certainly not necessary. And I would love to have a conversation with you, with any of you, with all of you. You can actually do that by going to thedolcediet.com. Boom. Go to thedolcediet.com. And can you see that? Nope, that's not on the screen. Bam! Go to thedolcediet.com right now and start our 4-week or 12-week diet and exercise program. Get in absolutely the best shape of your life, designed to cut fast. We've had a 100% success ratio for over 20 years working with the world's greatest athletes, regular hardworking folks just like me. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of amazing testimonials for you guys to check out. This is at thedolcediet.com. We also have an online coaching program where you can hire me to work with you one-on-one for 30 days. It is awesome. Might be waitlisted, so go to thedolcediet.com and check it out. If you do get put on the wait list, don't even worry about it. We have people, new people coming on and coming off. We've been doing it for over a month now. So as people's 30 days expires, should they choose not to re-up, and many are actually choosing to re-up into the next 30 days, you will be notified. So check that out, Cole. That would be awesome. Milan's the CEO of EPO. I know, Colby's funny, man. Good morning, Mike. Approximately how many pounds is equivalent to 1% body fat? Also, any plans on launching the 5-pound tub of the Dolce Whey? Not the 5-pound tub of the whey yet. I had it somewhere around here. The Dolce Whey itself is selling amazingly well, right? So no big plans yet. And it's not a mass market product. It's more niche for educated consumers who actually care about what they put in their body. So it is a pristine formula, but we certainly might do maybe like a 3. We might like double or triple the size because it's 20 servings, which is pretty good. It's like a month's worth. My one tub lasts me about a month or so, for what that's worth. And approximately how many pounds is equivalent to 1% body fat? Well, if you weigh 200 pounds, then 2 pounds will be 1% because it's of your total body weight. That's the way it works. William says, if you can barely make ends meet today, you can make it 100%. Absolutely. Guys and gals, go read The Richest Man in Babylon. That was the first book in the Dolce Book Club, which is a Facebook group we have. You can find it and be let in. The Dolce Book Club on Facebook, The Richest Man in Babylon, the first book that we have. And it's the book I tell all of our new coaches that they must read. Many of our coaches have received, depending on the year. So we bought not a pallet, but we bought a few hundred copies of those books. I used to give them out for free just to people, especially to our coaches. The Richest Man in Babylon. Jesse Lee, all badged up, baby. These badges are popping now. I love seeing these badges. Subscribe to the channel, click that join button, get that badge, and be an insider of the channel. Lots of cool perks. Also, holy cow, I forgot to mention on this live stream, boom. Be right back to your question. The Dolce Knows channel, the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Mike Dolce Knows channel. It is a new channel we just launched on YouTube. Definitely check it out if you like this content, but you want short form. Let me post this here. In the chat now, subscribe to the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Short form, the king of creatine, which is a great story about Bill Phillips. Is Joe Rogan legit? I mean, you want to listen to that story. Very controversial. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. The ideal sauna time and temperature, break that down. Is TRT right for me? Is it time for TRT for you? Watch that quick video. Diet Fads Exposed. These are all short, little, quick clips. You definitely want to listen to. The Mike Dolce Knows channel is short, quick clips designed to keep you educated, entertained, and provide value to your life. But I ask you to support the channel. It's also helping to break the shadow ban we have here at the Dolce Diet channel. This channel will be everyday live Q&As. Live Q&As, long form. This will be long form. Live Q&As, long form on this channel every single day. And then short clips. Maybe I'll just take a 3-minute clip from one of your awesome questions, and that becomes a great topic. Like many, I think 2 or 3 of those are direct questions from you guys from this channel on the new Mike Dolce Knows channel. But definitely, I ask you to just jump over that channel, subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, and engage with the videos. We want to get this channel into the algorithm, but it's great content. Really good stuff. Jesse says, wish I would have followed Mike a lot sooner in my life. He has drastically helped my health, relationships with my wife and kids, as well as my finances. Jesse, brother, I appreciate that so much, man. That is special. That is very, very special, man. I'm honored. I'm honored to be walking the journey with you and just to have any small positive influence in your life. So thank you for being a part of it. Jesse also is a Dolce Diet certified coach, a professional mixed martial artist, a father, a husband, and a hard working technician, right? Blue collar dude doing all of this and just making his life better and better. Jesse will be a multi-millionaire in his adult life. Probably, who knows, Jesse, maybe 10, 15 years from now, if you're just doing what you're doing without any big changes. But who knows, those fight purses can shoot up, shoot way up. Charles, great to point out spending errors. Each person will be different in comparison, but and that's the same idea. I was just nitpicking at a few things that Kamaru talked about, like the Rolex. Like, dude, $1 million. This is going to sound horrible, but it's true. $1 million is not as much money as it sounds like. $1 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but $1 million is not to go out and buy stuff. If you get $1 million, in one lump sum, one time in your life, and you invest that money wisely, you do not spend it frivolously on depreciating assets. You do not let nincompoops and con men come in and steal it from you. If you get $1 million and you invest it into intelligent, conservative, appreciating assets, you use that money to pay off all of your debts that is filling the holes in your sinking boat. If you get $1 million and you utilize it to do that, then life will dramatically change for you. But if you get $1 million and you buy Range Rovers and you buy Rolexes and you throw $30,000 parties and you give it to your family members and you give it to people that don't really know what they're doing, guess what? That $1 million disappears to nothing. We've seen that before, so many times before. Many of you will have windfall opportunities in your life. You will get something. You will get a bonus. You will get an inheritance. Something may happen to you in your life, whether it's a $10,000 income tax return or a $1 million, year net earnings, gross earnings, I should say, as a professional athlete. Do not blow it. Invest it intelligently into appreciating assets that cash flow and set yourself up for an easy financial life. Become financially free. That's the goal. Modern male, coach, keep up the grind. Sometimes you want to help more than you really should. Probably hard for him to say no when his kid family sees him getting paid. It's hard. It's hard. I am probably one of the, if not, I'm rather successful with relation to those around me, especially those in my family, those who came up exactly where I came up. I grew up in just complete poverty. No heat, no electricity, no running water in my home. Our house had holes in the roof and we rigged up tarps. We rigged up tarps from the ceiling and had it on an angle like a chute, and the water would come through the holes in the roof and it would shoot out the back window, the second story window. There are windows that were broken in my house that were never repaired, broken for years and never repaired. True story. Like no running water for years. I didn't talk about that very much, and I started talking about it more so over the last year or so because people need to hear that story. That's true. My senior year of high school, I slept in my car. I slept in my car because that became like my bedroom, right? That's real. That's real story. So when I speak like this and I give these ideas, I then left that lifestyle so hungry to not relive that, to learn the errors of my parents, unfortunately, to learn the errors of my family. And so that home was then foreclosed on, knocked down, turned into a parking lot. While I was still in high school, right around graduation time, everyone's excited about graduating high school. My home is being knocked down and turned into a parking lot. True story, right? So this is the trauma that I went through, and that made me so hyper-focused on being successful and learning everything I could about money and aligning myself with individuals who were competent about money, and they had done it before. And over the course of my career, I've become rather successful. I've been mentored by 4 different billionaires, many 100+ millionaires. I have worked alongside these 9 and 10 figure net worth individuals. You glean a lot of information from those type of minds and those type of brains, right? And that's over the last, since my early 20s now, over 20 years. When I was in my early 20s, I actually started working as a municipal tax assessor, which is very financially heavy, focused on income and valuation with regards to real assets. I worked for 10 years inside that industry, and I was personally responsible for $2.2 billion in real property assets in one of the most prestigious oceanfront communities in the state of New Jersey. Before I retired from that, resigned, I should say, quit it all and went to become a strength coach for Team Quest, mopping the mats for $8 an hour before taxes, $32 a day to be the gym janitor. And I slowly built my career up into what it is right now. And I stand in front of you sharing this entire story to help you understand what I learned along the way. And this is all I'm trying to do, is just learn from my story. I'm not telling you what to do. Learn from my story. But I do have the ability to stand here and tell you very truly, this is the way it is. Now, I'm likely more successful than many of the famous athletes I've ever worked with, because I was not buying Rolexes. I wasn't throwing $30,000 parties. My daughter's birthday party, we rent out the arcade. We bring, our family members there. They get to play all the video games for free. We get a bunch of pizzas. We get the local, bakery to make us a special cake. My daughter's birthday parties are probably, I don't know, $500, $800, which is not cheap, by the way. My birthday party was like a Carvel ice cream cake out of the freezer at like a 7-Eleven or a ShopRite. And hopefully we had, sometimes we didn't even have candles. My mom would just take matches and put matches upside down and then just try and light all the matches and then blow those out. That was like a birthday party when I was a kid growing up. So do what you do. But the point is, I come on here every day, and Finance Fridays is to teach you guys financial independence. I want to teach you how to be good custodians of money, how to think broader, think deeper. Hopefully, I want you to start thinking like the billionaires. I want you to start thinking like the banks. That's the thing. I think like the banks. I think like the board of director at JP Morgan and Bank of America and Wells Fargo. I think when I make financial decisions, I am sat around the board table. How would they operate? What makes the most sense? And that's what I want for you guys. Amir says, I have a TD, a nice badge, by the way, Amir, all badged up, baby. I have a TD Ameritrade Roth IRA account and Fidelity IRA account. Awesome. I haven't done much of them because I don't know what to invest in. Any tips, coach? Yes. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do, but I have my own Roth accounts, right? So I have my own investment accounts. I invest primarily into no-load index funds or ETFs that mimic the market as a whole. I love the S&P 500. I love the S&P 500 index fund. Fidelity has great low cost, which is the expense ratio, low cost index funds that directly mimic the S&P 500. Also, low-cost index funds that directly mimic the entire U.S. stock market. Those are things to consider. So you might look at Vanguard. Vanguard, I think it's VOO, is the S&P 500 index fund for Vanguard. You should look that up. VTI is the total market index fund through Vanguard. VGT is the information technology fund, similar to the NASDAQ. QQQ is another one. If you're more focused on technology, that's crushed right now. Huge dump right now, which could be a good buying opportunity. But what we found, and maybe this will help you more than anything else, is time in the market, my friends, beats timing the market. What does that mean? Dollar cost average. I have electronic funds transfer that goes from my personal bank account. So my company gets paid. My company then pays me as a W-2 employee. And then me as a W-2 employee, I automatically transfer a couple dollars each week or each paycheck into these specific funds. This is called dollar cost averaging. If the market's up, I invest. If the market's down, I invest. If the market's flat, I invest. Time in the market beats timing the market. And they've done many, many, many studies saying you get $10,000 and you can invest it over the course of a year. You can take the $10,000 and invest it at the very bottom of the market, at the very top of the market, or just break it up and invest it slowly throughout the year. What they found is dollar cost averaging, breaking it up incrementally and investing it throughout the year will make you more money than any of the other options, especially when you pull back over the course of a working lifetime. I dollar cost average. I do not lump sum invest. Even if I get a lump sum, which I get sometimes, royalties on books and just other things that we get, one-off projects and, working with actors and actresses is nice. I get some, Hollywood production houses that hire us to do a job. We do a job, we get paid in a lump sum. Nice. That's all paid to my company, to my corporation, and I'm an employee of the corporation, right? So we, follow everything properly, and then whatever's left over, then I dollar cost average that into future investments. I don't Rolex it. Maybe when I'm 65, I'll be Rolexing. Who knows? Who knows? So hopefully that helps. Boom. What's up, Arise? Come on. I'm here. What are you talking about? Simon. Bam. Simon, all badged up, baby. All badged up. I love that. You want to get the badge? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that little join button. Get badged up. Hey, coach, would you prioritize getting blood work done first or getting a blood glucose monitor? Blood work first. You're in the UK. It costs £200 to get blood work done or to buy a glucose monitor. Thanks. Me personally, I want to get a comprehensive blood panel done at least once a year, ideally twice a year. I get mine typically done every 6 to 12 weeks maximum. I get mine done all the time because I'm a data hound. I want that first. The blood glucose monitor, well, do you have a health issue? The blood work will likely reveal any sort of blood sugar issues that you might be dealing with, right? And then having that relationship with your doctor, but that's part of getting your blood work done. We in the United States call it a wellness check or wellness test. And this is one of the reasons why socialized medicine does not work. Socialized medicine does not work. UK, Australia, Canada, you guys cannot get preventative blood work done without it costing tremendous amounts of money, even if they will allow you to do it. And many of our clients can't even get basic blood panels done. The average 32-year-old relatively healthy person with no family history of heart disease can't get blood work done, even if they want a cash pay in Canada. In the United States, we can get that done. I can go out the door right now and get that done within 10, 15 minutes of where I stand right now. I can click the link below, letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. I can get a little kit sent to my house, little pinprick, put it back in, send it within 3 days, 3 to 5 days. I will get my results uploaded to my mobile dashboard. That's the difference in, private or public, unfortunately. Amir with the badge says, financially wise, what's a good method to budget expenses? For some reason, MMA gyms have been so expensive, it's too hard to afford on top of eating clean. The average MMA gym would likely be charging anywhere between $100 and $150 per month. That is average these days. Now, is it necessary? No. If you're trying to become a world-class MMA fighter, well, then it's probably necessary. If you just really like training in the martial arts, it's not necessary. You might want to go to a local PAL, which is a police athletic league. I don't know if you're in the United States, a local boxing gym. Many boxing gyms, many PALs won't charge you at all. You might have to pay $5 a round for someone to hold some mitts for you. That could be worthwhile. You get your mitts done. Maybe you do 3 rounds a couple times a month. That might work. Maybe not. But you can be in a PAL gym working all day long for free. Sometimes there's like a $3 or a $5 fee. A lot of YMCAs have some good boxing programs. You might want to find some friends that want to train jiu-jitsu, and you might want to hook up with them, right? And maybe if you can find a jiu-jitsu school, but pretty much all martial arts schools, even my kids' karate schools is over $100 a month. You're going to be paying $100, $150 a month. That's the deal. Now, is it worth it to you? Well, shit, man. I'd say go to bangmuaythai.com. Check out Dwayne Bang Ludwig. He has a completely online Muay Thai program that you can work. You can work and learn the Bang Muay Thai system. You and a buddy, you and a friend, you and your girl, you and your guy, you and a heavy bag, you just shadow boxing at first. There's great ways to do it. A good way to budget is we spend money on things we prioritize, and we run out of money on things we don't prioritize. Unfortunately, many people don't prioritize what they need. They prioritize what they want. So, Amir, I'm not sure what your situation is. Now, if you want to if you're going to compete in MMA, well, you got to be training in a good gym. You got to be training in a good gym that's has everything you need: good coaching, good training partners, good atmosphere, good facility, right? But if not necessary. Now, boxing and wrestling is going to cost you almost nothing. You can get a USA wrestling card, which is like, I don't know, $25, $50 a year. And that's just for insurance. And you can pretty much go to any of a variety of wrestling clubs, which are typically held in high schools. And you can go and wrestle. Even if you're older, you just walk in, you tell the coach, hey, I'm here, I'm this weight, I want to wrestle, and you get paired up. When I was a grown-ass man, I was going to Damian Hahn's Hammer Wrestling Club. I was in my early 20s. I was going to PAL gym, I was going to Hammer Wrestling, and I was going to Henzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. There wasn't MMA gyms back at this time. This is early 2000s. Derek Varon, my brother, Derek Varon is a Dolce Diet certified coach, by the way. Boom! Oh, gee, Derek's been in it for a while. Reads Richest Man in Babylon every year. I do too. Every 6 months I read it. And I listen to the audiobook. Paul P., I cut the fat this year on the budget, managed to invest 14 grand. It's possible, gang, and that is my first year investing outside my 401k. Paul, brother, I am so freaking proud of you. I'm so proud of you, man. What does that turn into? Let's have a little bit of fun. Paul, if you don't mind. And I'm just going to make some base assumptions here. Let's say Paul's 35. Let's say he wants to retire at 65. He just put in $14,000. He's not going to contribute 1 penny more. Bam! $14,000 Paul put in to an investment account in the year 2021 will be worth $373,000 by the time he's 65. Now, let's say by the time he's 70. Woo, that damn near doubles to 646. How about that? Now let's go back to 65. Make sure you guys can see it. You can see that. All right. Make sure he's back at 65. There. Now let's say, because he put in 1,400 last year, which means he's dropping about a G a month. Good for you, Paul. Boom! Keep up that rate, Paul. You will retire at 65 years old with $3.178 million. What? This is how easy it is to be a millionaire. Now, let me blow your mind for a minute. Those of you who have children, let's say your child is just born. They're within a year old. And you want to bless your child. But right now they have $0 in investments. And you're going to put $100 into an S&P 500 index fund for them per month. You just blessed your child with a $12 million retirement by dropping $100 per month. So instead of having pizza night, instead of having a couple extra beers now and again, birthday money, think about this. For your children, the year that they're born, you set up a little UTMA, Universal Transfer to Minors Act. You set up a 529. Maybe it's a blend of a 529 that rolls into an UTMA. Maybe they have some earned income, which is very possible. They do some babysitting. They mow some lawns, right? Earned income. Now you can actually open an IRA for them. Speak with your accountant. Very many ways. Maybe you just set up a traditional investment, stock trading account. I would suggest investing into index funds, of course, that mimic the market. $100 will turn into $12 million for your child. Imagine if your mom or dad did that for you. Oh, I want to shake my mom. Oh, I want to shake my mom. Like, why didn't you? But anyway, but now let's say $0. But let's say the year your child's born, you say, you know what, baby shower and all that stuff. We got all the basics. We got the stuff. Family, just give us cash, cold hard cash. and I just want to take, let's say $3,000. If you take $3,000 one time the year your child is born, you just put that into an investment account for your child, well, they'll retire with $3.3 million. And that means you've never put a single dollar to it. But now let's say we do add $100 extra per month. Look at that. Well, now your kid has $15 million waiting for them in retirement. Wouldn't that have been awesome if someone did that for you? This is the way it works. So, Paul, brother, I'm so proud of you, man. That is awesome. Jay Flo, Dolce, just had my first hard sparring Muay Thai last night. Ay, my left leg hurt so bad I can't walk and had to call into work. Damn. Be careful. Be careful. If it's a hobby, be careful. Don't lose your job. You got to make that money. Got to invest that money. Got to grow that money. Do you experience in coaching people to treat gut infections such as Canada? We do. And they work with one of our licensed registered dietitians, which we have on the team. So any of you, if you have any sort of health issues, you need some sort of a higher level treatment, the Dolce diet does have dietitians on the team that will work with you, licensed registered dietitians that are duly certified to work with you and work alongside your doctor, your medical team to help you overcome whatever challenges you may have. Simon says, how do you get taller at 18? I don't know that you can, Simon. I don't know that you can. I'm 18, 5'1" male. How do I grow? Or should I go for surgery or growth hormone? You probably want to speak with your doctor. That is outside of my expertise. I don't have a lot of knowledge in this for sure, but I would say go speak with your doctor. It could be some sort of endocrine issue, right? You might need to work with a doctor. Who knows? I do not know. But if your whole family's 5'2", 5'4", well, own it, baby. Own it. Go check out Lee Priest. Lee Priest is awesome. Check out Lee Priest, one of the legendary bodybuilders who I think he was 5'2", right? It's very possible. Everybody is awesome exactly as you are. My suggestion would be to you, brother, be who you are and fucking own it, man. Own it. Trumpzilla. Yep. Try being a lanky. It's funny. Try being a lanky ectomorph. That's true, right? What's up, Coach? Love Finance Fridays. What are your thoughts on crypto stable coins? Man, I'm a fan. I am a fan, but I'm also very aware of the high volatility of the crypto market, right? And that's one of the things. The crypto market is highly volatile. If we look right now at where Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin is the blue chip, the bar in the crypto ecosystem, Bitcoin, I think, had a high of $69,000 a few months ago. Now it is down into the low 30s. It is down more than 50%, which is very normal for Bitcoin. But statistically speaking, if we look back at the charts, we know, with my opinion, high probability, that's my opinion, very speculative. So do not make any financial decisions based upon the opinion that I'm sharing right now. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing my uneducated thoughts here. Bitcoin will likely go back up. Bitcoin will likely reclaim its all-time high of $69,000 or so. And in time, somewhere over the next 5 to 10 years, will likely vastly exceed that to new all-time highs. Some say 100,000, some say 250,000, some say $500,000, some say $1 or even $2 million per coin. And these are very educated investors, individuals like Cathie Wood, individuals like Michael Saylor, individuals like Raoul Paul. They believe, I believe someone from JP Morgan actually was suggesting Bitcoin will be somewhere in the $200,000 or so range within the next 5 years. Well, it's down in the 30s right now, man. Right? So if I said, hey, this stock will likely 10x in the next decade, you put some cash into it? Well, I did. A little bit, a very small percentage of my liquid net worth, and that matters because I think Ray Dalio and many others have suggested, many of the billionaires have said, yeah, you know what? It makes sense to put a small single-digit percentage, or to consider putting a small single-digit percentage of your liquid net worth into crypto, because crypto has the ability to grow 10, 20 or more fold, not percent. Can have 20 times growth in a relatively short period of time. And if that's the case, you can double, like a 20x growth on a 5% investment will double your net worth. If you lose it all, you still have 95% of your net worth. That's really what got my brain spinning. It's like, if I can put 5% of my net worth into a highly speculative investment vehicle that, based upon my research, has a high probability of increasing over time, decreasing in short term, increasing in long term, but very possibly might increase 20x over the next decade. Well, that 5% investment can actually double my current liquid net worth. If I lose it all, my dinner tonight does not change and my kids will still go to the exact same school. That's the way I look at it, not the way that you guys should look at it. That's up to you. Is there an app to go along with the online 3 weeks of shredded program? Can you roughly explain how the online program works versus purchasing the physical 3 weeks of shredded books? Cole, great question. If you go to thedolcediet.com, you will find, thought I had that, bam. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull this up. StreamYard is slowing things down a little bit here, but that's all right. Boom. All right. Perfect. There we go. There we go. So if you go to, let me just show you here briefly, and I'll keep this thing going. Bam. Go to thedolcediet.com right now. This is the online coaching page, personalized one-on-one coaching. You and I working together for 30 days. You literally hire me for 30 days to work together. What are your questions? What are your problems? What are you doing? What have you done previously? Like, this is you and I working together every single day. Text message, audio message, video message. I shoot you, bing, bing, bing. I can bang, 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 shoot you over exact recipes, like already formatted, highly stylized, exact workouts, clips of the workouts, exercise tutorials, bam. All that is built into the program. But you go to thedolcediet.com, we have the 4 and 12 week personalized diet and exercise programs, which run you through every single thing you need to be doing. What page is that on here? Run over here. There we go. This is the way it looks. Yes, it is on mobile. Yes, it is on tablet. Yes, desktop, laptop, everywhere you access the internet, you have access to thedolcediet.com. It tells you every single meal you should be eating, every recipe, every ingredient, grocery list, total calories, every workout, every set, every rep, with video, exercise tutorials, awesome training journals, nutrition journals, leaderboards, weights and measurements, predictive avatars, full calendars. What am I eating today? What am I training today? What about tomorrow, the next day, or the next day? That is all here at thedolcediet.com. The books are awesome. The books are awesome too, but the books are flat. The online version is personalized. Our sophisticated algorithm called the Rule Engine builds the exact program best suited for you, down to the calorie, down to the gram, down to the workout, based upon your intake form. When you sign up at thedolcediet.com, the 4-week or 12-week program, you go through a robust intake form. You tell us about yourself, your goals, your background, your history, your training preferences. And the program is built for you, and then you simply just start. It's literally like setting the GPS to your future body. And what's cool is we even have an online community. So once you sign up to thedolcediet.com, you start your 12-week program, then you actually are invited to join our online Facebook community, where you interact with hundreds and thousands of other Dolce Diet platform users and tweak your program, make friendships, network a little bit, ask questions. All of this is here and available for you, thedolcediet.com. It is freaking awesome. And then if you want to level up even more, then do the personalized one-on-one coaching. Bam. I send video tutorials, full workouts, just like this. Like, what do you need specifically? It's all there for you. Hope that helps. And you can click the link below. There is a link below if you want to start any of that. Brian, boom, bad stuff. Hey, coach, when I eat small meals, 4 to 6 a day, I feel amazing. But when I used to eat like 3 times a day, I felt like trash. Also, let's do a consultation, brother. I'm in. I feel the same way. I feel my best at 4 to 5 meals per day. That's where I feel I'm best. When I'm getting shredded, I move it up to 6 meals. Right? There's like people like, well, you're eating more. I'm spreading my meals over a longer period of time. That helps me feel better, perform better, keeps my blood sugar more stable, actually. And I just feel amazing. Hey, coach, I lost 45 pounds over the past year. How do I tighten up the skin and speed up the last lingering belly fat? You want to eat high net nutrient foods. High net nutrient foods are comprised of the vital micronutrients and phytochemicals necessary to aid in skin reclaiming its elasticity. Also, we have a concept that we call stuffing the shirt. What is stuffing the shirt? So you go onto a diet program, you diet down, you follow our 3 weeks to shredded program, you follow our living lean program, you lose 20 pounds, 40 pounds, you look in the mirror, you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm 40 pounds down, my clothes don't fit anymore. And you're like, but my skin is a little saggy. My skin's a little saggy. Well, that happens. Why does that happen? Because the fat cells used to be big and pushing out against your skin sack, your skin shirt, and then the fat cells shrink rapidly. So what happens? The skin gets a little flaccid. That's fine. That is expected. That is a part of the process, a necessary part of the process, and that is a sign of success. But now what do? Well, the skin will slowly shrink back to match your new, smaller body frame, which is why keeping that weight at that lower set point matters, because the skin will work to reclaim it. Now, the skin can only work as well as the materials on the job site. What does that mean? You're building a big, beautiful mansion and you have cruddy materials, rusty nails, moldy lumber. It's just like all the crappy, highly processed food of the lumber, of the work material just laying on the job site. Not going to work very well. Or you have the most pristine of materials available through high net nutrient foods that ensure you get everything you need to improve your skin's elasticity, to allow those cells, because skin is just simply just billions and trillions of cells all repairing and replicating, going through their own life cycles, living and dying, and formatting to a certain shape, right? That's essentially what's happening. So you must provide these skin cells the proper materials to do their job more efficiently. That's how it breaks down, right? So high net nutrient foods to make sure the skin cells have everything they need to reclaim the shape of the new, smaller body, but also you want to stuff the shirt. This is a term that we coined many years ago. What does stuff the shirt mean? As you're losing body fat, as your body is shrinking down, as you're losing weight, as you're recompositioning, you must also focus on building muscle. Why is that? Because when those fat cells shrunk down and the skin got a little flaccid, the skin will work to reclaim that shape. But if we start now building muscle and swelling out our shoulders and rounding out our traps and enhancing the scope of our pecs and building bigger sweep on our thighs and shaping out that wider lat and the thicker, deeper back and the bolder biceps, well, guess what happens? The skin now is shrinking back as the muscles inside are starting to swell, hence stuffing the shirt. Think about, you went from an extra large t-shirt down to a medium t-shirt, but then you start to build the muscle mass that fits into a large t-shirt. As your skin is shrinking down towards the medium size, now you are stuffing the shirt. This is why bodybuilders look so freaking crazy on stage, because they grow into the show. That's what they say. Kevin Levrone, famous, Hall of Fame bodybuilder, was probably the best example of this. He would actually gain weight as he competed. He would start his bodybuilding diet and training program lighter. Then he would actually step on stage and he would be he'd be like, let's say 10 or 12% body fat when he started. He'd be 4 or 5% body fat when he finished. He would just add so much muscle and be crazy grainy. That dick thin skin, right? Dick thin skin, right? That visual, sorry, it's a little crass. That is stuffing the shirt. And that's what I would strongly suggest you consider as you move forward. Simon says Bitcoin is nowhere near the price of gold yet. Imagine the long-term potential. That's what they say. That's what now Black Swan event could come through and wipe it all away. Who knows? Who knows? Speculative, which is why do not invest anything into speculative assets such as crypto or anything else unless you can afford to lose it all. That is important to know, which the majority of your wealth should come from appreciating assets with long track records. Real estate. That's probably the best, the most pristine. Better than Bitcoin, better than gold, better than the stock market is real estate. Why is that? Because people will always need a place to live. If fiat currency just disappears, the dollar loses all value, Bitcoin just gets wiped away, someone hacks the program and it's gone forever, gold somehow is dramatically devalued, who knows what happens, people will always need a place to live. And that's why real estate matters, because real estate appreciates over time. It appreciates in line with inflation or other monetary devaluation. Real estate appreciates and it cash flows because people will need a place to stay, to sleep, to raise their family. And if you own, imagine if you owned all the houses on your block and all your neighbors lived in your property and they were paying you rent to be there. And when they move out, guess what? Someone else is going to move right back in. And they're going to pay more money because appreciation over time follows inflation, of course, and usually hedges. It's inflation plus. Paul says, I will say the Fed hiking rates scares me a little when the market and the rampant inflation. Only thing that scares me as of late, but I'm 30 and I'm sure I'll see a million fluctuations. Yeah, I've seen tons of fluctuations by now, which is crazy. Interest rates will go up. Of course they will. The Fed's job is not to babysit the stock market. It's to be aware of it, but not to babysit it. The Fed's job is to keep inflation at bay. The Fed really needs to keep inflation below 4%, ideally around that 2 to 3% range. That's what the Fed really is intended to do. It's not intended to do anything, have any impact on the stock market, although it knows it does, and it has to keep that in mind. The Fed's job is to keep the economy moving forward. And I think that they'll do a decent job in that. And we've had historic lows in interest rates for what, 2-3 years now. It's free money. It's been free money. The rates do need to come up to stabilize the economy, in my opinion. And there is going to be a little bit of fluctuation. You know, a lot of my investments and portfolios are temporarily down right now because we are on a downward trend. And, you know, we are in a correction. We are nearing a recession. Some people say a depression, you know, whatever that might be. But I have a long-term horizon, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year. I will continue dollar cost averaging into all of my intelligent, conservative investment portfolios and keep living a very normal lifestyle. I live a very, very normal lifestyle. No Rolex here, baby, right? No Rolex here. Just, you know, still simple. Keep it simple. Yep, when they printed and rates hit zero, it's set up for this, unfortunately. Exactly. Yeah, we knew it's coming. We knew it's coming. Well said. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Well, guys and gals, once again, I do want to remind you to go to the Dolce Knows channel and subscribe. Become a subscriber of the new YouTube channel, the Dolce Knows channel. Short videos, 3-minute, 5-minute, 7-minute videos on single topics, which are freaking awesome. Lots of great stuff. The king of creatine. Is Joe Rogan legit? The ideal sauna temperature. Is TRT right for you? And diet fads exposed. This is all at the Mike Dolce Knows YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. I ask you to consider it. And I thank you in advance. Should you choose to subscribe, that means everything. We do want to launch this channel into the YouTube algorithm. So the more engagement you give us will help grow the channel, and the channel, YouTube will help the channel find more great people just like you. You know, since we were shadow banned a year and a half ago, you've seen the thousands, you know, with videos here, we get thousands of views in the first day. Now we're lucky to get a few hundred in the first day and maybe 1,000 or more in a week or so. That's due to the shadow ban, which was confirmed to me by someone who actually works for the company. And they told me, listen, you have to split your videos, start a brand new channel that's still branded, but has no affiliations to your other channel. Make this channel your current channel. He said, which will come back. It's just going to take some time. Keep long form videos. Keep your subscriber count is awesome. Those who come to the channel are awesome. They sit, they watch, they engage, which is great. The algorithm loves that. But if you put short videos and long videos on the channel, the algorithm does not know how to promote you, and they won't promote you at all. Start this new channel, make it short, make it sweet, make it quick. Get your current subscribers to go check it out. If they like it, then the algorithm will find other great people. So I ask you, be one of the early subscribers of the Mike Dolce Knows YouTube channel. I'm not going to keep asking because I don't really like to, overly ask or leverage you guys, are our amazing audience. I just do ask for a little bit of help, a little bit of support as we get this launched, and I will do everything I can to just provide value to you, to your day, to your life. I appreciate you guys all for being here. Thank you once again on this awesome Friday. Also, the Mastering the Weight Cut seminar is tomorrow on YouTube. Click that link and get 25% discount with promo code MASTER25. The Mastering the Weight Cut seminar will be tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am pumped. I will teach you everything I know, no holds barred, open source, everything I know about weight cutting at the world-class level. How do we do it? What do we do? How do we diet? What supplements do we take? What do we do during fight week? What's the temperature of the tub? Do we do the sauna? Do we cold plunge? What about wearing the towels and the plastic suits and infrared saunas? What about cardio and running? What about sleep and room temperature? I tell you everything. The Mastering the Weight Cut seminar is a do not miss. Level up and save 25% with promo code MASTER25, all one word, MASTER25 at DolceDietShop.com. You can click the link in the YouTube chat to take part of it. It's going to be, I'm so fucking pumped about it. I cannot wait. Thank you guys once again. And until next time, boom.